Hey Vsauce, Michael here, and welcome. Yo, what's up? It's California State Senator Mike Ehrmantraut, and on today's very special episode of The Filthy Mike Show, I'm going to create an explanation that will tell you how Susan W. and all the people at YouTube are failing at their jobs and creating an environment that basically screws over creators and just creates a genuinely not fun time for both creators and people watching. So let's cut the and get to the chase. Now obviously I'm not going to be standing for this whole thing because I got a desk. So let's get in this breath of fresh air and actually talk. So you might remember this layout from my golden days as when I was just a lad working on YouTube. Now, let's start with one of the main problems in my case, which is that brands and companies and celebrities are not YouTubers. Now, obviously, they have YouTube accounts, but why are you like putting the same 5 channels, which are NFL, anything that's newsworthy does not count as trending. Put original people on the trending page. And while we're on the case of that, the trending page is completely garbage. Half of it is just watered down stuff that nobody likes, that nobody even asked for. It's just even stuff with like more than 1,000 likes and from a channel that has shown itself to be good still does not get on trending. And as we bring that, let's talk about the original CEO. Well, from 2006 when Google acquired YouTube up until 2014 when Susan W. became the CEO of YouTube, a guy under the name of Salar. I'm not even going to pronounce his last name. I don't want to butcher it. Was way better than Susan. Obviously, we know how, I will tell you how Salar ran the play, how Salar ran the YouTube, and talk about how Susan ran the YouTube. Salar wanted to focus on empowering creators and telling them that, hey, you can be famous. Anyone on this channel can be anybody on this platform can be famous. You just need to apply yourself. You can do whatever you want. It's just like in real life. Anybody can be famous, and it doesn't matter if you're talentless. You'll still become famous. And then in 2014, because of course Google wanted to make money off of YouTube, they hired Susan. Susan started working the same year that Salar started in 1999, and because she was way better at marketing than Salar, she was hired in 2014. Now, Susan likes to care about ad-friendly content for advertisers and marketability. Kind of makes you think. If anybody can be famous, now they have to think, how can I be famous but also make money off of becoming famous? Let's bring up the abundance of ads. Obviously, if you are like me, you don't have ad block because you're an idiot. And you have to go through every single day watching the same 500 ads that take up an hour. The reason for this is because Susan decided to implement AdSense, and every time an ad plays, that goes into a YouTuber getting money. So, if you block that, even the YouTuber gets money, but it wouldn't be that big of a deal if the fact that the ads playing were so much. Even on a video that has ad block off, that has ads off, it'll still play. You have to manually do it. It won't automatically do it. You have to manually click, no ads, and then even if that, you'll be lucky if it does. Now, not to say that ads are bad. I want these creators to get money. But when your livelihood is spent on you opening Pokemon cards or doing all this other stuff, it kind of makes you think. Now, let's get to the next thing. These are the methods that Susan does to try to make YouTube an ad-friendly space. She'll usually censor stuff. Anything that is quote-unquote hateful is not allowed on YouTube. This is making it a lot like TV, but even at that point, TV is still like that. There are shows like that have an entire show devised of crime and all that stuff. There are movies like, I don't know. There are movies that are rated R, rated X, rated PG, PG-13, and they're not censored or anything. There are movies like, I don't know. There are tons and tons of movies and TV shows that swear, use, and have cussing and nudity and all that other stuff, and they're allowed on it. Obviously, they're more cut down on TV, but that's making YouTube a place where anybody can become famous. Make it so that they can't become famous. Because we need to make it ad-friendly. Obviously, the adpocalypse speaks for itself. I mean, come on. Google's content management system is complete garbage at managing what it can do. And then there was YouTube's Heroes program where you got points determined on how many videos you could ban or outright censor. Now, let's get into our next big argument about this. Also, this has to do with a lot of things. So, celebrity Brie Larson recently has decided to jump from becoming a celebrity to becoming a big-time YouTuber now. And that's great. I don't really know her. I don't watch any of her movies. I didn't even know her up until now. But she got an entire day worth of Zoom calls with all the big wigs at YouTube. She got one with Susan. She got one with big content creators and all that other jazz. And that's setting a precedent. If you're a celebrity, we'll sweet talk you, we'll brown nose you, and we'll give you a good time. And then just bam, you have an automatic subgrowth, because obviously you're gonna have an automatic subgrowth. You're a celebrity. Well, I knew this was gonna end up coming up, but let's talk about YouTube's verification button. Now, obviously, every website has a verification button. Twitter has the blue check mark. Usually Instagram will have one, but YouTube's verification button works a lot differently. It says on the rules that to become verified, you have to have more than 100,000 subscribers. But you know what the stupidest thing is? Brie Larson had 102 subscribers, and yet she still got verified. Why? I don't know. And then even that, some web channels that were verified were unverified, all because, I don't know, they were not up to standards or something. But it's like you're revoking someone all because of this new rule. They should, if they're going to be verified, they should stay verified, unless they do something that revokes that verification. It shouldn't be like, oh, we have this new rule which states that if you were already in the Hall of Fame, and that if you weren't this famous, that now you're out of the Hall of Fame, because now you're not as famous as these other people that obviously are going to be famous because they have way more experience than you do. And then there's the talk of Taylor Steffens, who obviously I don't know, and it's same thing with Brie Larson, but at this point, he's not even a celebrity. He's nowhere to be found on anything, and yet, look at this. at he doesn't even have 100,000 subscribers, and yet he is still verified. And even as far back as 2020 he was verified when back in 2019 they had created the rule where if you had to have 100,000 subscribers that you needed to be verified. Now he's still verified as a 2021, and yet he is still verified despite the fact that he does not have 100,000 subscribers. Why would that be? Why would that do? Well, in his description it states that he is a editor for Jablinski Games. And if you don't know what Jablinski Games is, it's Jack Black's gaming channel. So even if you're associated with a celebrity, you are verified. That makes no sense. I get it when you're a celebrity that yes, you have prior experience, but when you're even associated with it, it just sets a bad precedent. Now that there are channels with 108 million subscribers or stuff, and yet they're still not verified, or even channels that are above 100,000 subscribers and aren't verified. Well, I wouldn't know. I only have 10 subscribers, and yet there are some channels that are still not verified, and it's just like, why? There are some videos that have been taken down. Obviously, some videos like, let's see. Oh yeah, some YouTubers, like Raka Raka or whatever, they put effort into their videos, and yet, so, okay, they may be violent and all that jazz, but they put effort into it to create this masterpiece, and then look at this. They either get taken down by YouTube or they're age restricted. Meanwhile, there are other YouTube videos created by YouTube originals, that are still up and that are either age restricted or still up without age restrictions. It's like if you decided to create an indie film about Deadpool and that got taken down, but then Deadpool comes out and it's not taken down. It's not like that. God. Yes. What about we talk about the whole Susan and Juice WRLD thing? Susan met up with Juice WRLD before, like, maybe 2019 or something, and she said that she was gonna bump up his subscriber count, and there was nothing. Just to get on his good side. You know, brown nose, and all that jazz. But, like, there's no reason for you to do that. He's already famous. His numbers are gonna speak for themselves. Why would he have to bump up his subscriber count or think of ways to bump up his subscriber count? Alright, oh yeah. Kitties, leave right now. Yeah. Let's talk about how content on YouTube, very, you know, content that is not okay for little kids, and maybe for some other kids, like content, well, it's still taken off the site or age restricted. And then we got channels like breastfeeding tutorial videos that are still up, and they're age restricted but still up on YouTube. And it's like, this is still, you know, not safe for work content, but it's still up. And it's all under the guise of being an educational video. What about this is educational? This is just like, this is now getting into the territory of just bad. Oh yeah, And then once you get age restricted, the reasons why people get age restricted are so vague that you end up not knowing how you got age restricted in the first place. Like, okay, say someone got age restricted for oh yeah, like Uncle Al, he got age restricted, and it stated that one of his videos, out of the sea of 100, got age restricted, or no, not got taken off the platform, or was demonetized. Actually, it was demonetized. It was demonetized for quote unquote repetitive content without an educational purpose. So, out of the sea of millions, this is not repetitive. This is not repetitive content, and this is not content that I mean, what educational value are you supposed to get from? If it's not, I looked at his videos, and they're not repetitive, obviously, but they just took it off the platform and gave him a very vague reason, and they didn't even say which video they took out. They just said your video is taken out for blah blah blah. And, yes, age restriction for videos suitable for people. Yes, and even for people who don't even, like, people can outright, say that their videos are for 8 people that are 18 plus, and then there are videos for people who say that they're un-18 plus. For people who say that they're 18 plus, yes, you can suitable for that. You can do that. But when YouTube itself demonetizes it or age restricts it, some of the videos could be suitable for people under the age of 13. Look at Suicide Squad. That movie's about people who are, well, obviously I didn't see it, but I have seen it, but like it's garbage. Don't watch it. But this film is about villains who will get killed by putting neck things, and that's that. And and ever since YouTube has acquired, ever since Susan's become that, some of the rules that were in place since the beginning of YouTube, or since 2014, or even since even since like 3 years ago, Google has become making higher standards of content. They would rather have that become a higher standard. And it's just, why? Just why? Before I leave, I just want to shout out some things. I know, obviously, that this might seem a little bit of brown nose, but these are content creators that should be on trending or should be in YouTube Rewind, not these safe content creators. These are people who challenge the means of YouTube. Alright, so first off we have this. Then we have this. Then this. And lastly this. Before we leave, I'd just like to give one quote by Susan herself. You don't make money for us, you're not worth it. I've been Mike Ehrmantraut. See you next time. Oh yeah, next episode we'll be talking about the censored 6 videos that have been taken off YouTube completely, and the reasons why their videos are why it's completely arbitrary and hypocritical for them to take those videos off of YouTube. See you next time.